to our Mayor, Ryan McCaffrey.
Thank you, Mike. I've been racking my brain on how I'm going to get you back, and it may not be today. Between you and Griner going over so far, we're now at 8:15, and I'm supposed to be done by 8:30. Not going to happen. All right. With that, let's get started. I know we've got a presentation. I want to make sure that we've got it up there. It's good to be here with you today. What have I gotten myself into? I'm not really sure, but I am enjoying the process and working with the rest of the council members and our city staff. And the theme today that I'm going to share with you is getting back to basics. You know, we've learned from the past that basics have worked, and the simple but classic acknowledgement that hard work pays off. I'm not going to show you anything today to distract you from the reality that the last 2 years have been very difficult. We've learned where the direction changed. We've complied with all the investigations, the new lows that we've had to deal with, made difficult decisions, and we are finally moving forward. And I'm confident today I can share with you that we have our momentum back. But before I get into the presentation, I have a special surprise for you all. If I could ask our Mayor Pro Tem, Rudy Cabrioles, to come forward. As has been the tradition with the Victorville City Council, we do recognize those who have served as mayor with a portrait that is hung in City Hall in perpetuity. And today, in front of you all, I'd like to unveil Rudy's portrait. And thank you, Rudy, for your last 2 years of service as mayor to this city. I have several notes here, but I must deviate for a second. Over the last 2 weeks, I have been through hell and back over the issue of an American flag flying in our park. I grew up listening to stories of my grandfather who flew P-51s over Germany and was shot down, was a prisoner of war. And I take full responsibility for what occurred, and I believe it is the council's direction that nothing ever happen again like that. And I'll make that promise to you here today. I'd like to recognize any veterans or current service officers in the audience. Please stand. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. All right, well, we're getting back to basics. The 3 R's, responsibility, relationships, and responsiveness. I'm going to show you how the City of Victorville is being responsible with our actions. The City of Victorville staff is committed to building stronger relationships with our stakeholders and citizens. And the City of Victorville is responsive to the needs of our community. I'm going to talk to you about where we've been, where we're at, and where we're going. Some progress we had over the last year. We had our Fish Hatchery Road signal installed, corner of Bear Valley and Fish Hatchery Road. We also get some applause for that. I've had some complaints from my own employees. They can't seem to get to work on time. We also saw the completion of the park and ride improvements at Bear Valley and Amargosa Road, and that was another construction project that was funded through grants. And we also had the Rotary Drive and Verde Street reconstruction. At Avalon Park, we completed the Kaboom project, and we want to thank our sponsors on that, Dr. Pepper Snapple Mott's and the Bears organization. Let's give them a round of applause for putting in that playground in that park. We also, our community services, participated in the Safe Cities program, installing cameras at various parks to aid local law enforcement. Utilizing the Community Development Block Grant funds, the Blighted Swimming Pool and Recreation Center were demolished, and new plans are underway to enhance the new park with new turf and picnic amenities. Also at the Doris Davies Park, a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant was awarded for a new picnic area, which will provide a 50% reimbursement for construction costs. This project will start upon the anticipated award of the required matching funds through the 2011-12 CDBG program. Under community services, one of the things we like to highlight, and we'll probably highlight every year, is our library. In 2010, circulation increased by 5%, which was over last year's gain of 27%. Circulation of young adult items increased an additional 38%, and children's items continue to be the largest department, accounting for 47% of the total circulation. The summer reading program had a 32% increase in student participation over the previous year, and we've now expanded that to adult participation. In March of 2010, the first Teen Tech Week was hosted to assist teens in obtaining computer-related skills. This year, the Recreation Services Division will partner with the San Bernardino County Fair to promote community programs and classes by providing an opportunity for participants to showcase their talent during this year's event. And the Juvenile Justice Earmark Grant covers the after-school programs at Brentwood and Delray schools. Both schools have around 45 registered participants with waiting lists at Brentwood Elementary. Participants receive help with homework and other activities, including guest speakers. Both programs are in session until 5:30 p.m. to help those working parents who need a safe place for their children after school. We also held our Spice of Life Cultural Festival again this last year, and over 12,000 people attended that. And true to its mission, visitors were treated to a wide variety of authentic cultural presentations from ethnic associations, as well as live bands and solo performances. Local organizations and service clubs took this opportunity to share their goals and success with residents. Merchandise vendors, new and classic car models, and an active kids zone rounded out the day's events. We did quite a bit of maintaining in our city this last year, and up here you have a list of all what Public Works did, but I want to point out the number one bullet. I think that is so important. As you drive around the city and you see graffiti, and there is a lot of it, please understand we are fighting a war, and I just want to thank our Public Works staff. 6,434 locations removed graffiti this last year. These are some of the more of the achievements that they accomplished this last year. Street maintenance crews responded to 450 after-hour emergencies. So they're constantly working and providing the service that we've mandated that they do and that you all expect. So I want to recognize Public Works for doing such a great job. Also, our water department, yes, thank you. Our water department had some projects completed this last year. Well number 144, this is quite a unique well. It is at the southwest corner of Parral and Delgado in the Mountain View Acres community. It is one of the largest producing wells in Southern California with a pumping capacity of 4,600 gallons per minute. Now in comparison, the rest of the wells throughout our city pump about 1,000 to 1,500, so that is quite amazing. And we also had La Mesa arsenic removal water treatment plan was completed, tested, and brought online, and we rehabilitated our well number 205. Other things that the water department accomplished: 66 mainline repairs, 2,000 mainline installations, 94 curb stop replacements, 76 repairs, 163 service repairs due to leaks, 85 service upgrades, and the list goes on and on. So thank you to our water department and all those employees that do such a great job for us. I love new construction. And in 2010, we saw the Palm Court building, which is 42,000 square foot. It's being occupied by the County of San Bernardino, and it's located on Palmdale Road. We also saw the Sun Country Campus building, which is over off of Paiute and Locust Roads. That's a 36,000 two-story square foot building and is occupied by Azusa Pacific University. We also saw the construction of a new CVS pharmacy at the corner of Palmdale and Elevado Road. And also, as has been widely reported, we built a wastewater treatment plant which is up and online and running and out at SCLA. And it's not something that's easily easy to get to, but I would encourage you all to, if you get the chance, to get out there and see that. And we do believe that that facility will allow us to continue to create jobs out of SCLA, attract like businesses like a Dr. Pepper, Snapple, any business that might be in the food processing industry, and you have a relationship with them, please send them Keith Metzler's way, because we want to bring them here to Victorville. All right, moving on to law enforcement. The 2010 Department of Justice crime statistics, we saw a 7% drop in Part 1 crimes and a 10% Part 2 crimes. And although our Captain Cliff Reynolds is not here, we do have the Sheriff's Lieutenant Leland Bolt. If we could have him stand in the back. I want to recognize what these gentlemen do every day to protect us on our streets here in the city of Victorville. Our fire department. You know, a lot of controversy was made over the city going to county fire a couple of years ago, but I'll tell you, I talk to the guys on a daily basis, and they all love it. The opportunities that they have are just so amazing working for county fire, and it's just amazing what county fire continues to do. If you look at these numbers, in 2010 they had 13,445 incidents, which was up almost 1,300, and their response time was maintained. And I would like to recognize our fire chief, Sid Holtquist, and all of his guys who do a wonderful job protecting us. All right, so where do we stand today? We're going to talk about our city finances, progress, and some challenges that we are facing. As you know, sales tax revenue was reported that it was up over 5% in the third quarter of 2010. I was hoping to be able to have the fourth quarter results, but as much as I bugged Doug Robertson, I did not get those prior to today's meeting. But I can guarantee you they were up as well. My good friend Dave Greiner told me in December of 2007, I believe it was, Dave, something's wrong. And I should have listened to him. We all should have listened to him, because little did we know the financial world was going to fall off a cliff the very next year. But I think car sales are a great indication of what we can expect. And I do believe this economy is turning back around. In the fourth quarter of 2009, new car dealers sold 781 cars. In the fourth quarter of 2010, 911 cars. You can see that there. And Dave, keep selling cars. Our revenue and expenses. The general fund is where we really get to pay our bills and provide our services. And so that's so vitally important to the city of Victorville in looking at how our revenue comes in and how our expenses go out. And one of the things that most people don't understand is that most of the revenue for the city of Victorville comes in the last 6 months of our fiscal year. So this time of year, we should start seeing most of our revenue. In the first 6 months, our revenue was $7,146,353, while our expenditures were $12,787,825. But in this next half of the fiscal year, our revenue will be $25,624,287, and our expenditures would be about the same. So as you can see, we have a cash flow issue in the first half of the year, but we do expect to have a balanced budget by the end of this year. All right, challenges that we're facing. National and state economy, obviously that continues to be a very difficult issue that we're all having to deal with. State proposed, or Governor Brown proposed, elimination of redevelopment agencies, legal outcomes, and getting back to job creation. The City of Victorville has continued to maintain a hiring freeze since 2008. And we've maintained salary levels with no cost of living adjustments or increased medical benefits. As you can see from up here, we were at our height in 2007 with 548 full-time employees. January of this year, we're down to 328 employees, and we continue to do everything that we possibly can to provide the same level of service without the number of employees. Some legal issues we're dealing with. The EB-5 program, we are going to respond to the USCIS. In fact, I am told that we will have that in by the end of the week by our Economic Development Director. I'm putting him on the spot right now to make sure that that does occur. We also, as has been widely reported, the Carter and Burgess lawsuit, we had another victory the other day. Not only have we been awarded this $52 million, but we also were successful in our motion for attorney's fees and other costs associated with the case, so now it's nearly up to $54 million. And something that everyone in this audience should know about this case, there were 5 causes of action. Even if they appeal and they're successful on 3 causes of action, the jury awarded us the full amount on every single cause of action. So it's going to be a pretty uphill battle for them to get out of this, and we do expect that we will receive that money at some point in the future. But my best guess is that they will appeal and they'll move forward. We also continue to comply with the grand jury's investigation. As you all know, I asked for the forensic audit be conducted, and they appear to be wrapping up. Requests into City Hall have really slowed down and come pretty much to a halt. We do expect that their report will be made public in the next several months. And regardless of what comes out in that report, it will allow our city to move forward, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, now let's talk about where we're going into the future. We're going to stay the course with continued fiscal restraint. We will look at possibly refinancing bonds where it's feasible if it will save the city money. Look for new revenue sources and grants. And something that's exciting for me and some of our other council members, last night we approved filling the vacancies of 7 deputies and 1 specialist, and that will allow us to keep our streets even safer. We had a 4-hour council meeting last night, so I didn't get to bed till about 12:30, but we did have a discussion on red light cameras, and that discussion is going to continue. We will be back, that will be back before the council in about 60 days, so just keep an eye out for that, but that continues to be a discussion item among our council. We will continue to be responsive, achieving fiscal stability. We'll continue infrastructure improvements and economic development to create jobs. We will plan for our future, and we will look to maintain adequate levels of service. I know the City Council is committed to doing that, and even though we have less resources today than we did in the past, we will continue to do whatever we have to do to maintain those levels of service to you all. Some infrastructure that we have planned for 2011, I will continue to harp on the La Mesa Nisqually interchange. I still think that we need to move forward on that. That's a project we've been working on for over 20 years. Everything's in place with the exception of a funding plan. And in the next several weeks, the City Council, go ahead, laugh. I don't blame you. The City Council will be looking at whatever options we might have to move that project forward. But as you drive by and you see the big sand piles out there and all the stuff that's piling up preparing for construction, we have right-of-way certification. We have the ability, the plans have been approved, so we're ready to move on that. We also have the Valley Center Drive pavement reconstruction. My good friend Joe Brady is constantly in my face about this, and I think we're going to actually finally see that move forward this next year. Park and ride lot at Fish Hatchery Road, which will complement the signal that was just put in there and allow for more commuter traffic. The I-15 Bear Valley Road Traffic Congestion Relief Project. This is in partnership with the City of Hesperia. You know, a lot of the press seems to think that we don't work with our sister cities. We do, and this is a prime example where we're going to look at the lights on Bear Valley Road and look to improve the light timing and all of that so we can move traffic eastbound and westbound in a better way so that you all can get around the valley much better. And although it's not a city project, Desert Express, I did get a briefing on that the other day, and as you've seen, they've applied for a $4.9 billion loan from the Federal Railroad Administration. They are moving forward on a quick pace, and if all indications are correct from what their plans are, they could potentially be looking to break ground in early 2012. I just wanted to mention that it is not a city-funded project, and it's not something that we are doing, but we're very supportive of that project, and we're looking forward to working with them and helping to create jobs in the Victor Valley. Additional infrastructure improvements for 2011, you can see the list up here. The one that I would like to point out is the 5-year road rehabilitation plan. Currently have staff working on putting together a plan where we could do that and bringing that to the council. But our roads are in disrepair. If you drive around the city, you know that, I know that. And one of the things that I loved so much about our city when I moved into the city in 2008 was that we had the best roads in the high desert, and I wanted to get this city of Victorville back to having that reputation of the best roads in the high desert. Economic development, we will maintain occupancy levels at SCLA as well as maintain the operations. One of my primary goals is job development. We've created over 2,500 new jobs at SCLA, nearly 400 jobs at Foxborough. And just last week, X-Quadrant broke ground on a new counterterrorism technology center. Also, GE, their aviation hangar, saw the delivery of a new Boeing 747. We will work on our Old Town specific plan, which will look to expand and revitalize Old Town, as well as the Civic Center specific plan, which we were one of 47 municipalities that received funding through the California State Strategic Growth Council when they approved the grant for this plan. And we did it in-house, which I appreciate the development department and what they did there because it showed fiscal restraint. So often we're going out to consultants and we have to pay consultants to do that type of work. In this case, we did it in-house, and I think they should be applauded for doing that. Continuing with our neighborhood stabilization program, we continue to work on rehabbing homes throughout the Victor Valley that have either been foreclosed or abandoned. And in using these funds, we resulted in 157 households received home buyer education. The mortgage assistance program assisted 15 households. There were 12 homes were fully rehabbed to include energy efficiency. 3 structures were demolished, and the land made part of a land banking that will be used for future housing development in Old Town, as well as we are rehabbing a 67-unit multifamily complex that will actually be coming up this next year. The City of Victorville is one of the first cities in the nation to commit their neighborhood stabilization program funds. Also very exciting is we have coming online this year 2 new Walmart Supercenter stores and a Walgreens. The first Walmart will be breaking ground hopefully in June or July of this summer at Dunia Plaza, where the Kohl's and Lowe's businesses are at. And the second Walmart Supercenter will be breaking ground probably later in the fall out at Palmdale and 395. So be on the lookout for that. We're looking forward to not only construction jobs that will create, but the permanent jobs once those stores do open. We also have a very exciting thing going on at Desert Valley Medical Center and Hospital with their 48,000 square foot expansion and adding an additional 74 beds. And we're, days away from, I want to put you on the spot, but we're not too far away from being able to celebrate that grand opening. We have a new medical office on Yuma Street of 5,000 square feet, Social Security office building expansion, and also plans for the new St. Mary Medical Center on the west side, their Oasis campus. They are moving quickly on that, and they expect to even break ground this year on the infrastructure that will provide the means to access that facility. They still have to go through a lot with the state to get their actual facility approved, but that will be a 216,000 square foot hospital and 126 beds. So that's an exciting thing. And think about all the good, high-paying jobs that will create. Now let's give it a try. Well, we've got a lot of work to do, and how do we accomplish these goals? By working together, prioritizing these goals in our projects. And I will be asking the council to consider a 5-year recovery plan as well as a 10 and 20-year strategic plan. I think it's high time that this council look towards the future, figure out where we want to take our city and go in that direction. And I'll be asking the council in the coming months to look at putting together those plans. This is your Victorville City Council, and if I could ask them to please stand at this time, I think we need to give them a round of applause for all that they do in this community. And speaking of thanking people, I got to make sure that I thank the most important person in this room, my wife Jennifer. Thank you for all of you. It's amazing what a wife has to go through when you're the mayor. Just realize that. All right, well, we are already getting started, and I would like to share with you over the next couple minutes some videos from our federal, state, and other local elected officials that talk about how we're going to work together. So if you'll indulge me, we'll go and get into those right now.
Good morning, and thank you for inviting me to offer brief remarks today for the state of the city. I'm Congressman Buck McKeon, representing the 25th District of California, which includes the city of Victorville. To begin, I'd like to first highlight the positive teamwork I've seen from the city of Victorville Mayor Ryan McEachron, the City Council, and city management. Our economy has challenged us all, and I commend them for their approach to meeting the challenges of Victorville and the high desert. These are trying times throughout the state of California, and I know you're in good hands with your elected officials and city management team. Today's focus of moving forward together is spot on for the needs of our community, our state, and our nation. It will take all of us working together, local, state, and federal governments, the private sector, educators, workers, and business leaders to foster sustained prosperity for America's future. Last year, congressional Republicans promised in the Pledge to America that we would change the spending culture in Washington. In the first 4 weeks of the new Republican majority, the House cut spending by $656 billion. That compares to the first 4 weeks of the 111th Congress, in which the Democrat-led House had already passed $682 billion of new spending. Having over 14 million Americans currently unemployed and a national unemployment rate of around 9% is unacceptable. Our country must get the American people back to work and help small businesses gain stability enough to grow and create more job opportunities. That's why in the coming weeks and months, I intend to introduce the reauthorization of the Workforce Investment Act, legislation aimed at ensuring our workforce infrastructure is modernized and can respond quickly and effectively to the changing needs of job seekers. Together, we will make more of these needed adjustments on spending and changes in outdated systems to harvest a more competitive workforce. I'm looking forward to working with the leaders of Victorville in these efforts, and my door remains open to all of you. Thank you again for the opportunity to visit with you today, and all the best to you in the future.
As your district attorney, I want to congratulate the new mayor and city council members of the city of Victorville for continuing to move the city forward. I truly believe in partnerships and teamwork. We have a great relationship with the Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Rod Hoops. It is because of that relationship we are able to make sure that the citizens of your city and this county are safe. The cooperation will continue as we proceed through these tough budget times. We will stay tough on crime, but fight crime smart. We truly believe that the next year is going to be a challenge with the budget issues, but with the partnership we have with you, your community, your business community, the education community, as well as you, yourself, the elected officials, I feel very, very positive about what's going to occur in the next few years in the county of San Bernardino. We will continue to make this the safest place for people to raise their families. So let's move forward together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm County Supervisor Brad Mitzefeld. I'd like to congratulate Victorville Mayor McEachron and the entire City Council. The economy has challenged us all, and I commend them for their approach to meeting the challenges of today. Now it's more important than ever to focus our efforts and further develop our working relationships among the federal, state, and local levels, so we can provide the widest range of opportunities for our entire region. We are truly in this together. Of course, our most important relationship has to be with the people we're privileged to represent. That's especially true for county government, which provides a wide array of functions and services, and like Victorville City Government, works directly with the people we serve. We continue to work at building strong relationships with our business community so they can create jobs, and with non-governmental organizations to leverage services to those in need. We have to be responsible by keeping our own houses in order. We've all made tough decisions in this economy, but with hard work, little creativity, and cooperation of our public sector employees, we can make necessary cuts while maintaining the highest possible level of service to the public. Further, we have to be responsible and responsive to the public by providing transparency, accountability, and the highest standards of ethical behavior. As elected officials, we must always keep in mind that we work for the taxpayers. The primary function of government is public safety, and we have been responsive to our constituents by maintaining the best trained and most effective police and fire protection we can put on the streets. We also need to be responsive to the need for public amenities, infrastructure, and economic growth. For instance, we have hundreds of millions of dollars in bridges, interchanges, and freeway expansions in the works. Here in Victorville, we have the Livingston and Nisqually interchange. We need to keep this project on schedule to help our traffic congestion and create much-needed construction and related jobs. This is the best time to build because construction costs are down, way down. We will continue to strive to maintain strong relationships with each other and with our constituents while being responsible and responsive to those we serve. Congratulations again to the City of Victorville. I appreciate the opportunity we have to serve together.
Good morning. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person this morning. I'm stuck in Sacramento, but I'm happy to greet you all, and I know the mayor and the council have great news for you there in Victorville. They've worked hard and continue to work hard to meet the needs of the constituents there in Victorville. And I look forward to working with them as well as we look at ways that we can put more people back to work. In California, the high desert has had a lot of experience in bringing jobs up there, and I continue to work with them. They've got my cell phone number and can call me at any time if the bureaucracy up here is hurting what they need to do to get people back to work. So I look forward to learning what they have to say this morning, and I'm excited to be here, and thank you all for your support and vote last week. Thank you so much.
Hello, Victorville. This is Assemblyman Steve Knight. I wanted to thank you for bringing back to basics as a phrase for the year. This is exactly what government should be doing at the city, at the state, at the federal level. This is what I'm voicing up here. We can only do what we can afford. That's exactly what the city of Victorville has put forward with this back to basics message. So I commend Mayor McCachran and the other 4 city council members for remaining vigilant on this, understanding that public safety is the core, the #1 priority in local governments. And that's what you've done in the city of Victorville, to make sure that your community members, that your school children, that your business owners are safe in their endeavors. And so as we look forward to this new year, this 2011, and hopefully pulling out of this recession, we look forward to a better future. And so here at the state level, I will be voicing this same opinion. Back to basics, only do what we can afford, and get government on the right path. So I thank you very much.
And I appreciate all those elected officials participating today. I think it's important to point out the relationships that we do have with our federal, state, and local elected officials. We all need to be working together. Getting back to the basics, the 3 R's: responsibility, relationships, and responsiveness. This council is going to take up the mantle of leadership and move the city out of its difficulty and into more prosperous times. Our relationships are key. We have recognized we need the help of our sister cities and our neighboring agencies to be successful. The reality is the new economy requires collaboration to survive. As you can see from these videos, we have already reached out to those other elected officials for assistance. Lastly, on behalf of the City Council, I'm publicly committing to you that we will improve our responsiveness to our constituents, our business community, our residents, and our stakeholders whose success hinges on ours. As we move forward, I consider you our business team, the Victorville Chamber of Commerce. I'd like you to meet some of the City of Victorville team. All those city employees that are in the audience, if you please stand. These people work very hard on a daily basis to provide the services that our citizens need. And I appreciate the fact that you're here. They've made the commitment to work together so the whole High District can move forward, and I hope I can count on you all